I've got an itch I can't scratch, I'm missing a piece that completes a whole part of me, an open wound scar to see. Everybody come here, gather round, welcome to the freak show, the best in town. What the hell's wrong with me?
I just want to go over a few of the reasons why this story about Kate Garroway and her husband, Derek Draper, is the biggest pile of steaming BS you're going to read or see. Completely staged rubbish, and I'll show you why if we watch a couple of the videos that they made public. All these pictures, in my opinion, are nothing but staged for the cameras. What kind of reality is it where a TV presenter sells out her family's privacy, sells out her children's right to deal with their supposed father's unwellness without having a camera watching their every move? Really out of touch story, not what people do in reality when a family member has an illness such as what they're claiming this guy has, whatever it is. You have to treat that with dignity and not sell out this guy's moments of misery. Doesn't happen in real life. Let's listen to her spouting.
Very protective of people seeing him vulnerable.
He's very protective of people seeing him vulnerable, and that's why we've set up a camera crew to film us for the next however long this documentary goes on for.
But this is the reality of life for people that are caring.
Reality of life, supposedly. Remember, she's constantly trying to convince you that this is real life. It isn't. You generally don't have to remind people that it's a real life situation.
The person he is now, in many ways, is a stranger.
He is desperately clinging on to the idea that he can get better.
If we have a love and he can be a dad to the children in a whole new way, that's life, isn't it?
Kate Garroway.
This documentary is basically just a promotion for the possibility that you might get sick like this gentleman, but they've got the cure. They know what they can do to fix people that get ill in such a way. Personally, how I would diagnose it could be any number of things. Branding it new illness, such as long bull spit, which is the only way I can describe it. Pure madness. I would say the guy, if anything, has had a stroke and they've misdiagnosed it. I'd have to see his medical notes, which would never happen, so I can't ever make a call on it one way or the other. Be interested to know what hospital he stayed at. And of course, it is not just Kate that talks in a matter-of-fact way about their life changing.
A little moment yesterday where, because obviously, you know, he still has extraordinary problems with communication, mobility is very limited, massive problems with fatigue, and sometimes...
What happened to a person's right to confidentiality about their health conditions? You don't go on television and start broadcasting to the world your husband's health complaints. Just not the thing to do, even if you are promoting a new brand of sickness, which they've got the cure for, apparently.
He doesn't go unconscious at all. It's the wrong word, but it's like he's not present with you.
Like he's not present. Good one. Good one, Kate Garroway. And none of it makes sense. It's not a reality I can identify with. So my immediate conclusion is it's all staged for the cameras. That's the only possible outcome I can come to, especially when you hear the daughter's matter-of-fact way of talking about her father's health crash.
I've not really thought the worst. I've always said that he's going to get better, he's going to get back.
She doesn't care. She's not bothered. Her dad, as we've just seen, is having to be lifted out of bed into a wheelchair. He's having to use a walking aid. She doesn't care. Listen to how she talks about it.
Like all of this stuff. They say, like, we've heard rumours that he'll get back, like, hopefully before next year, but we really don't know at all.
What a crazy way to describe your father's poor health. We've heard rumours in inverted commas. We've been told that they're going to change the character and make him healthy again next year, but we really don't know.
Do you think Dad will be back for Christmas?
I hope so, but it's hard because he might still be hooked up to things that he need to help him survive.
Is it scary looking at your dad like that?
I mean, it's not really scary in the way that he looks scary. It's just scary in the way of thinking that we might lose him.
And then stuff a load of crisps in your mouth like it's no big deal either way. Yes, I'm sure. And talk to a camera like you talk to a camera every single day. Like it's no big deal.
Oh.
And yeah, if you ask me, it looks like that person's wearing a wig, a very low hairline. It's slipped forward a bit.
Yeah. Whoa.
And then do a bit of a dance at the end. because that's what you do when you're on TV. Who cares if your dad's sick? This is your moment to shine, of course. And then, of course, you have to remember, we see her sitting on the Good Morning Britain desk, and you remember someone else also sits on that desk. Lorraine Kelly and Kate Garroway work alongside each other. They're in the same profession. Why does it start to make sense? Why is it things starting to ring true? What was it Lorraine Kelly admitted about herself? Lorraine Kelly is actually an actress playing the role of Lorraine Kelly. It's an act. These people aren't real. None of these people that you see on Good Morning Britain are remotely as presented. All fakes, all frauds, all plasticine, all prosthetic noses, all reading a script, all complete trash, not worth believing a word of it. Long COVID, more like long bullshit, and it has been a very long strand of bullshit. Thanks for watching and welcome to my new channel, Chronicles of the Unconvinced. Let me know what you think in the comments section. Take care.
There was a brilliant, ridiculous moment when, you know, Derek was obviously stuck in the coma. It wasn't the 3 to 5 days that we'd hoped. And Darcy did the thing that teenagers do and was on the internet looking up what it was about coma. And she said, Mum, I've just been reading about comas. Sometimes when people come out the comas, they have totally different accents, totally different accents, totally different accents, totally different accents. One woman could speak fluent.
The person he is now, in many ways, is a stranger. Is a stranger. Is a stranger.
He is desperately clinging on.
They say, like, we've heard rumours that he'll get back, like, hopefully before next year, but we really don't know. Hopefully before next year, but we really don't know at all.
He doesn't go unconscious at all. It's the wrong word, but it's like he's not present. He's not present. He's not present with you. And we were playing a totally different accent.
Is a stranger.
He's not present.
He'll get back, like, hopefully before next year, but we really don't know at all.
I've got an itch I can't scratch, I'm missing a piece that completes a whole part of me.
Greetings, this is Chronicles of the Unconvinced. I'll explain that sequence of videos. Follow my earlier upload where I question the narrative of Derek Draper and Kate Garroway. I was looking at an interview Kate did on the 5th of the 6th, 2020, about 10 weeks after he'd supposedly gone into hospital with long bullspit, and I kept finding bits where she seemed to be saying, for example, where she seemed to be talking not about a person who was sick, but about a person who wasn't there, almost like they'd switched a familiar person with someone unfamiliar.
And we were playing a totally different accent.
Is a stranger.
He's not present.
He'll get back, like, hopefully before next year, but we really don't know at all.
Who knows? Can I say for certain that Kate Garroway and the family aren't a legitimate biological family? No, can't say that. But even the daughter, Darcy, seems to talk about him in a way that he's away at the moment, but he could be back next year. We don't know. Yeah, all very suspicious language. And this entire video, in fact, on the morning of the 5th of June, Kate Garroway broadcast from her garden for a good, well, the first bit was a good 15 minutes, just straight talking about this one news story where Kate gave a emotional update on how her supposed husband was getting along. Now, I could go through that interview with a fine-tooth comb and nitpick every little thing she says. For example, at one point she's saying that he had never been into hospital, which I find hard to believe for anyone in their 50s.
And we sort of helped him downstairs. He's never been to hospital before. Never really get ill, Derek. Never really gets ill.
And then the next thing she's telling us is that he had been for scans on his shoulder and had his treatment cancelled.
So Derek had had a really painful shoulder for a couple of months and had been taking painkillers for that and had scans for that. And just before lockdown came, he was going to have steroid injections. They were cancelled and he was feeling really unwell and in misery with that.
So clearly he had been to hospital. I also find it hard to believe that the Garroways / Drapers don't have private medical care. I don't personally believe they use the NHS like they would have us believe. This story came up in 2020, but they've recently been really giving it a lot of promotion to promote a new series that has come out, Caring for Derek. And I believe it also involves a book deal for Kate where she's also going to write about her experiences. The idea of the mainstream media faking a person's illness or ill health or injury isn't uncommon. The United States did it with Gabby Gifford and her supposed astronaut husband, Mark Kelly, and they presented a person recovering in hospital, and what do you know, they also wrote a book about it. So yeah, a lot of parallels with that one. There are moments in this interview that certainly don't ring true, but the very fact that they did a broadcast on Good Morning Britain from 7:20 all the way through to 7:36 talking about one story, if you are a person who genuinely believed what these liars say, it's like you're sitting in front of an advertisement, propaganda, having the idea that you too could be subjected to this awful illness. It seems to me like trying to brainwash people into accept you're going to get ill. We're all getting ill. Everyone's ill. You're all carriers. No one's safe. Fear it. Be afraid. Live in fear. You need the emergency services. You need the government to help you. It's all rubbish. It's all lies. None of this is remotely true. Not only did Kate Garroway dedicate 15 minutes to this interview in her garden, apparently it's in North London, but I'm struggling to find an area in North London which is as quiet as this where she is. I'm a little suspicious that it's possibly done in front of a green screen. I mean, you don't see any insects. This was a June morning and there's no bugs flying around. You can't hear any airplanes flying overhead. You can't hear any traffic. She must be in a very remote location, which causes me to be suspicious. They do pan off to a vegetable patch, which supposedly the daughter Darcy grew.
The supermarkets are going to run out of food. So I don't know if you can see, there's loads of vegetables there. She actually, without even telling me, by the way, Ramvesh, she one day, when in the first couple of weeks Derek being sick, just dug up an area which I hadn't planned to be dug up, and planted loads and loads of vegetables. And of course, it's sort of fantastic. We've actually started to eat them. And she
in this interview, actually, they talk about the heartbreaking moment where Kate Garroway has to tell her husband he's being put in a coma. It's worth pointing out it is in induced coma. They deliberately put this guy in a coma because it's a bit strange. Later on they talk about him not waking up and how he didn't wake up when they expected him to. Well, that's because they hadn't brought him out of a coma. That's all they have to do.
It was the doctor said, we've got him here, we're going to put him into the coma, because overnight we think we need to do that. He can hear you, he's right here, and he just shouted at me, I love you, but I'm sorry I have to leave you. And I said, it's only for 3 or 4 days, and you're going to be fine, and this is good, because this is what you wanted and allow you to rest. And he just said, you've saved my life, because I think he thought I persuaded the doctors to put him in the coma.
Talking about him like he may wake up with a different accent, it all seemed to me like they may just be giving a little nod to the audience that, yeah, it's a different actor. Don't for a second believe that any family who have a seriously ill member would invite a camera crew in and let you film him wearing his incontinence pad as they change it. It's ridiculous. This whole story is ridiculous.
One big stretch with lever. Well done, well done, well done, well done, well done, well done, well done. Well done. Just got to get my hand back. Well done, darling. That is amazing. Come here. It's okay. It's okay.
Episode 1 of Caring for Derek has been broadcast. I am thinking of doing a live stream watch along where we can watch that together and see what we think. She makes another couple of interesting points. At one moment she claims that the virus is like a computer virus.
It's a virus. It's a little bit like a computer virus, I think. It's like the doctors manage one bit extraordinarily well.
What do you mean it's scripted? Computer viruses are scripts and man-made, so who knows what you're saying there. She also says about when they were a bit worried about Derek that they phoned Dr. Hilary Jones. Apparently she couldn't get through on 111. For how long has it been easier to get hold of Dr. Hilary Jones than it has been to get hold of 111?
I'm really struggling to breathe, and I said, oh my God, and I sort of paced around. So I did what anybody who works at GMB does. I rang Dr. Hilary, and I tried to get through on 111. And couldn't, so I thought I'm just going to call Dr. Hilary. And
then they go into this bit where they try and convince you that the internet's releasing misinformation about a diagnostics test.
He was speaking and his breathlessness and I asked him to just do a very simple test. And this is not a diagnostic test, I have to say, for COVID. There have been some spoof false tests that have been pushed out there on the internet that say if you don't cough after 10 seconds of holding your breath, you've got COVID. That does not happen. That's not a diagnostic test. All I asked him to do was to just hold his breath and see how long he could hold it for without becoming uncomfortable, and it was less than 10 seconds. And I
But
said
it happens to be the same diagnostic test that Hilary Jones used to tell Derek Draper that he needs to get straight into hospital. I am very much suspicious, because not only did she do a 15-minute interview in front of the camera where she repeatedly pushed the idea of people getting unwell, she came back about 10 minutes later for another long chat. That was where they made mention of where they promoted their scripted reality program of caring for Derek. If we look at these two pictures of Derek Draper, I think there is a case to say they look similar, definitely in the eyes and around the face, but yeah, that could easily be a different actor playing that part, or it could be the same person. They've just taken some of the padding out. Who knows what the situation is? One thing I'm sure of, I am not convinced of the official narrative of this one. As always, I'm always really interested to hear your opinions on this. As I say, this is my new channel, Chronicles of the Unconvinced. Please subscribe if you're not already to keep up with any future videos, and if you'd be so good as to give this video a thumbs up and possibly share it on social media, it would really help the channel grow. I'd also like to shout out my Patreon, Linda Mac. If anyone else wishes to support me in making these videos, please find the link in the description or scan the QR box which is on the screen now. As always, thanks ever so much for taking the time to watch this, and I will be back soon. Take care for now.
I've got an itch I can't scratch, I'm missing a piece that completes a whole part of me, an open wound scar to see. Everybody come here, gather round, welcome to the freak show, the best in town. What the hell's wrong with me? I don't get along.